what's been some evidence of your becoming
Yeah,
this week? What's been going
yeah,
on?
yeah. Last week, I got the revelation of being an environment. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and it's just I got an environment, got put into an environment. I'm just getting back at work. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so just navigate, man. There's something different in the a level of authority that you walk in. There's just a different level of authority when you walk in who you're becoming. And
Mm.
so I went to work for the first time, like as of up to right now, knowing who I am.
Mm.
It's a different level of knowing, and with that, it's just I'm moving different. I'm more
Mm.
intentional. I've always I'm saying I'm a kingdom shepherd, kingdom pastor, but seeing myself different. I've noticed I wasn't seeing myself right. So now that I
Mm.
see myself as a kingdom environment, it's like I get to be at everywhere my feet go. I get to
Mm.
bring Jesus with me. Yeah, so Jesus gets to be with me, and Jesus gets to be everywhere I go. So people get to encounter Jesus everywhere, not just limiting it to my house or the church or other places. So just walking in that's been new, and it just takes time because as we were talking earlier, it's like yesterday I was super tired
Mm.
because with the revelation of being in an environment, it's virtue that I'm losing every day, and it's
Yeah.
like high value. Like you've been getting the voice notes. We've been talking. You've been experiencing what I've been experiencing, and it's been a lot. It's a lot of
Mm.
conversations, a lot of healing and deliverance that God is kind enough to facilitate through me. And I don't take it lightly, man. Like I don't take it
Mm.
lightly. So just, yeah, what it's been like, the evidence of it is the work is the work. I am the work. So the more God keeps scraping and pruning and cultivating me, I see how it's scraping and pruning. Cause like, let's be clear, I didn't see myself right. So
Mm.
now it just so happens that everybody that I encounter, it's like they're not seeing it more than just me. It's like God's giving me insight into like the world. The world just isn't seeing itself right. That's just something that I've noticed this week.
With you being back in that environment and knowing what your work is, you're just able to move through it and navigate through it differently. Like it's so different when we bring our purpose to our jobs. And like you could be talking about so many things when it comes to your work, even in those notes you send me. And everything that you're talking about is about how God is using you and how you're being led at work, and it just nothing, he talks about your
Feet go.
everywhere your feet go, you're taking territory at your job. And it's just so powerful to have that awareness. I want so many people to grasp because when you have that mindset, you'll never worry about why you're there.
Mm-hmm.
As long as God has you there, it will be so clear. So I love it. I love it. I love the voice notes and the stories, and as God is like working with us on, like, even as we're going to talk about today, breaking the chains of religion that keep us stuck. Like, I think I'm so grateful for your kingdom mindset because so many of the conversations you're having are not about Jesus but about Jesus,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so many entry points from for people to enter the kingdom, for people to have exposure to Jesus. And because we've narrowed our language, our conversation, our ideology so much, we talked about this earlier, like we sometimes as believers can be stumbling blocks for people entering the kingdom. And so I just hear, even from the conversations that you were sharing, is that like you're meeting people where they are, is what I hear. You're meeting people where they are. So I love it. I think for me this week, one of the things that I struggle with as it related to who God has called me to become is the part of my gift that requires deconstruction or uprooting or tearing down of things. for the sake of them to be accelerated or to grow. And I've always been somebody that really loved building people up and loved building things up. Love building and being a part of building of things. But sometimes often that requires, I even think about in, in construction, when you're like renovating a house, often it requires deconstruction. And when you do the deconstruction part right, it allows the building to go much faster, you know? And God has just been doing, I had a dream this week where there was somebody from my past that I had ran into, and I was trying to understand why we didn't speak anymore. And they were like, I just don't like you. And I was like, okay. And I think in my mind, I was trying to make it, had to be a reason that this person wasn't a friend of mine. But what I learned was like, it's okay for people to just not like you. Right.
Whew.
And I don't know, I felt like it was like a chain that broke in that dream because I woke up being like, oh, okay, it's like people aren't going to like me. And I think that like even as this channel grows and as we're reaching more people and more people, more comments, right? Like all of that starts to show up. Like I'm really sitting in this week part of my becoming, which is it's like I'm being obedient to God. I'm living a life that's in integrity with who I'm becoming in Christ. And as a result, not only is it okay that people don't like me, I can expect that there might be some people that don't like me because part of the glory is the suffering. And so, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that's standing out for me this week as like a theme.
Man, if you can get the fear of man off you, like life is different. And I think you said
Hmm.
something so interesting too, is like, you just said, I felt a chain break. That's deliverance. So like,
Hmm.
we can make religiosity and churchianity around deliverance. You got delivered.
I feel like we're gonna need shirts that say religiosity and churchianity. Because somebody was they were like, is that a word? It's our word. We have the power to create
Come
language.
on. Come on.
But
Come
no,
on.
you were saying it's deliverance.
Yeah, it's deliverance. And like, we make it something weird when it ain't. Like,
Yeah.
we can make it like, oh my gosh, like no one lay hands on me. When like, hey, deliverance is like, there's instant deliverance. Like God can give you a dream and deliver you and break chains. And religion makes you box deliverance. When
Mm,
like knowledge is deliverance. It's
mm.
like there's so many ways for God. Dancing, God can use dancing to deliverance. He can use healing for deliverance. And it's just like, it's beautiful that you getting delivered off of something that's like major. Cause yeah,
What's the simplest way you would define deliverance?
what you said all the time is getting back in integrity. It's like
Mm,
deliverance is like becoming back all in one.
mm-hmm,
Cause with deliverance, there's something that's holding me from being one with God.
mm,
So
mm,
like there's the chain that's on me that like, cause the only chain that I have right now is Jesus. Like that's who I'm in bondage with. Like he has my heart. He sits on the throne of my heart. So like everything I do comes out of him. So anything
mm-hmm,
that keeps me from like having the mind of him and like having the love as him, anything that comes out of that's not attached to Jesus, that's what I call bondage or something to be delivered from. Cause so let's use your example. The fear of man, and I'll talk about me too. The fear of man keeps you from pleasing Jesus. Cause
mm-hmm,
you too worried about pleasing people, not Jesus. Right? So
mm-hmm,
that's something that's keeping you away from doing what God tell you to do. Well, he might say
mm-hmm,
this or she might say that. So let's get in my business. Right? When I say I switched, my becoming switch from being a kingdom shepherd to being a kingdom in environment, I got released from bondage of religiosity and limits. I put a limit on who I was. So since I limited who I was, I could only be a kingdom shepherd when God called me to be a kingdom environment. To mean spread the kingdom wherever I go. But I'll box myself up. So I was binded to the spirit of lack and the spirit of
mm.
limits. So since I was bonded to lack, I couldn't be fully with Christ because there was a piece in me that didn't see myself right. So I wouldn't do what God says because, well, I'm not that. So to me, that's the biggest thing that, like, I would say deliverance is. It's getting everything back, getting back to the original intention of what God had called you to be. And anything that keeps, hey, that's not me. Hey, that's not me. Hey, that's not me. I'm a child of God. So any identity that's not him. So I'm not anxious. I'm not fearful. I'm not lustful. I'm not all these other things that used to have me. They don't have me. So that's deliverance. Getting back to who God made. I know it's a
Uh,
long answer, but that's what I think of by deliverance.
That's what we're here for.